Welcome guys and girls, this is Working with Iron. I'm Nathan, and today we're going to be going through the process of forging some scrolling tongs. So I'll get a fire going in a minute and we're going to start forging. So thank you for joining us, come along. If you enjoy the video, thumbs up. If you don't like the video, thumbs down. Any questions, comment below. Alright, let's get to it. So the material is 20mm round, or just over 3/4 of an inch. A bit of rain bar, a bit of mould steel. I think it's cold rolled. I don't think it's hot rolled steel because it's still very shiny and very smooth. So hopefully that give me a slightly better finish and it'll look better on the camera. The overall length is 160mm. Because these are scrolling pliers, I'll probably need to cut them down, but at the minute what I need is to be able to get this with my tongs on it to be able to go over the edge of the anvil when I do the step downs. So I'm going to get it nice and hot and start forging. So I've made a mark on my anvil 30mm away from the inside edge, from the near side of the anvil, or 1 inch and 2/16. You want to get this hot, put it on a nice radius edge. Keep it horizontal when you're doing that, and then don't let it spread out. You don't have to be too tidy with this. Go about 1/3 of the way in, not half like we did on the flat bit tongs, just 1/3. Straighten it before you put it back in the fire. So get a nice heat again over the edge of the anvil, 45 degrees, and make a set down. You want to take this half your thickness, so I got 20mm, so I want it 10mm thick, or 3/8 thick. Don't worry about making it look pretty at the minute. Straighten it before you go back in. So this is your 3rd set down. You go on there, then you turn 90 degrees left, 45. Then your next one is from the inside, where that is, 30mm over, get your mark, set down. And you want to go probably about 12mm thick, or 1/2 inch for this width. Straighten them up. Straighten them up, get them hot before you go any further. So what you want to do now is just bring this back. Work the side. Remember the 12mm thickness or 1/2 inch thickness. You want the same thickness that you got here coming back. Straighten it before you put it back in the fire and get it warm. didn't forge that, I just straightened that. Get another heat, and then next time we come out the fire, we're going to work this down into our rings. So get yourself a nice heat, nice grip on your tongs, start whacking it out. Make life a bit easier and get it hot. So guys, you want to get them to about this stage. So this, the width of this is about 1/2 inch, and the width of this is about 3/8 or 10 mil width, 12 mil width. They want to be the same width as your boss. So this is your boss. This needs to be the same width as that, so that it continues on. So when you get to that stage, the next step is this bit here, probably about 100 mil long. We're just going to knock the corners in, and then the rest of it we're going to round up, because if you round them up, they're easier on the hands, they're nicer feel on the hands. So you don't want it too hot. Nice orange heat to do. Take the corners off to 100 mil. Do the insides. And while you've still got a bit of heat, run down your outer edge. And then take your valley out. Don't forge past the 100 mil. Then you can follow your edges if you want. And that's it. If you've got to straighten it at the next heat. So this is what you're after. You got your boss, your nib, and about 100 mil back from your boss. All you've got is the corners knocked off, that's all. It's not rounded up or anything, it's just corners knocked off. About 100 mil from your boss, or that is, I guess, 4 inches. What we're going to do now is take a good heat, and then from your 100mm mark, you want to square everything up. So I hit it harder on the edge. Work both sides. I'll just planish the side. Only up to my 100 mil. So my 100 mil's there. Now all I want to do is square this up. So you want to carry on, square everything up. Right, so that's about 3/8 square now. And it does taper down to the end. So get this nice and equal. nice and true. Because I'm not forging, I can work at lower heat just to planish it, true it out and tidy it up. And obviously it's straight when it goes back into the fire. So this is what we got so far. You got your nibs, your boss, your knocked off corners 100mm down, and about a 3/8 square. As long as it's square, it doesn't matter what size it is. That's squared off, so what we're going to do is take another heat and then start rounding it up. So obviously 8 sides, 16 sides, 32 sides, and then a bit of rounding. So we get a nice forging heat again. I'm going to start from the end. Knock the corners in and stop when you reach your 100mm mark or your 4" mark, and then go with the opposite corner. Do the same. So now you've got 2 corners knocked in and then 2 sharp corners. So now you come to the sharp corner, and knock that in up to your 100mm. Then work the opposite corner, and work that into your 100mm. If it gets too cold, take another heat, but straighten it before you go back in. So I've taken another heat, and I'll just carry on with the corners until every side is equal. Usually this will start twisting on you, so if it does, run down your original edges. So what I've got, corners knocked in, 100mm, 4 inches, and then I've started taking it to octagon from that transition. It has set down a little bit, but that doesn't matter, it looks nice. And then the next heat, go and knock 16 corners in, and then the next heat 32, and then the next heat I'll round it up. So get yourself a nice heat. Give it a good wire brush. Now wait for that heat to start soaking out, so that it's a lot easier to see your edges. There's a little bit, nearly there, it's right on the end, nearly there. Right, so now I can see my corners a lot easier. Now I'll start hitting them in now. I'm not going to use as much force as I did on the others. Blend into each other. Get a nice grip on your tongs. I'm at black heat now. As soon as your metal starts bouncing, you know you're too cold then. Just like that. So we're nearly there. And when it gets difficult to see your lines, straighten her up. fire, get her warm, and then what we do is we come out and we round them off. Take a nice orange heat or a dull heat, and then start from your transition point where your 100mm or your 4 inches ends, and just roll the bar, hitting straight down. You're not at an angle or anything, you're just straight down. Just keep rolling that bar, and then work your way down the ring. You get some decent tongs that'll hold your metal, make life a lot easier. It's gone into black heat now, so that's alright, because I've still got the heat. And all I'm doing is taking them edges off, them high edges. Tongs would be good if they fit. So that, you're near enough round now. Let me brighten you up a minute. So it's not too far off. You've got a couple of little hammer marks in there. You want a half tidy heat, put them in the vise to your 100mm, get yourself a farrier's rasp, just take off all those edges that you didn't get. Do this with a grinder if you want. Nothing good like having rough rings on your tongs. And obviously do the other side. Rough rings will give you blisters. And that'll do. Smooth enough for me. Nice round ring now. Just straighten that on the next heat. Give it a good wire brush, and then that bit's done until the end. So now all that's rounded up, that's knocked off the corners. We're going to go back to the boss. So what we're going to do, as steep an angle as you can. Put your hammer on there. Tuck it down, keep it straight. You'll need to do that quite a few times, and not the top. And go back to your 45 degrees. Just take down them high spots. That's what you want to do. See them shiny bits? One there, and then one there. Just take them down and that's it. Straighten them up. And then take another heat if you've got to. Again, steep angle. Keep correcting it. Just the corners. Keep everything straight. Back again. What you're aiming for is to get this boss area as square as you can, so that this corner to that corner is the same as from here to there. God, that's hot. So it needs a little bit more. And don't straighten it at this heat. Get it nice and hot, then straighten it. So it's all bent, so what we got to do is straighten it. Then go back. Try and hold it vertically so it works even. And this is the reason why we don't go to the final thickness at the start, because while you're doing this and truing it up, tidying it up, you're going to forge it down a little bit further. So just be careful of that, where you're hitting it, how you're hitting it, and what temperature you're hitting it at. So it's, yeah, I'd say that's pretty much there now of what I want. Just brighten you up a minute. So yeah, that's the right sort of shape. So what I'm going to do is match the other one to this one before we carry on. So now we have very similar in size and shape, and then hopefully this one should lie on top with the width for the jewels, width for the boss lining up, which it does. So that was lucky. So what we now need to do is make this width of the boss the same. They need to be exactly the same, and it's usually, if you follow the center line of that, this should be in the center of that, so that when they match up and you riveted them, they're a nice close fit and everything's equal. So that's the next stage, is get them to the same thickness, which ain't too far off, to be honest. So that's the next stage. So all you do is you just come over and do your 45mm, only slightly, and then that'll tidy it all up. Then tidy it and straighten it as you go. So I don't want a really bright heat. It's a nice orange. You're basically just planishing it. That's what you're doing. So it's nice and shiny on the inside, nice and flat. Doesn't worry about the outside, as long as the middle's flat or the centre's flat. Then tidy up. Crisp everything off. I think that's it. So now we're going to use this one as the template for the other one to fit. So I'll leave that handy. I'll take the other one. Before I do anything, I'm going to see if it sits. These nibs need to line up, so they don't at the minute. So I'm not clouting it, I'm just tapping it, just planishing. I'll try it on there again. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'll just tidy that up now. Don't hit the inside like I just did. And sit them on, and that is bloody lovely. Really nice, that is. So I got a lot of clearance from my rivet hole. rivet hole will be in the centre. So we're good with that. Now what we're going to do, I'll just brighten you up again. There you go. So what we're going to do with this now is forge the nibs into a nice round point before we go and punch it all and then rivet it. So with a nice bright heat, we're going to start doing a round pointed taper. So we're going to go down here first. It needs to be quite sharp and quite short. See, I'm working the corners in just to start me round straight away. So round that up, that'll be good, I think. So now you've got your point on the end. Take another heat. Start rounding it up. Try not to work this top a bit too much, because what that'll end up doing is flattening it a bit too much. So if you can keep this lump in there, then that's spot on, that is. So I'm going to work this into a round bit now. So now I'm just going to work the top so that the underneath here is smooth and is flat, because the outside, it doesn't matter if it's got a curve, the inside has to be flat, otherwise they don't work. That's good enough for me. So what I'm going to do is get the other one matched in length, and then I'm going to take a file to it again, or a rasp, and make it super smooth before I go and punch them. So now we got two pieces that are roughly the same. They line up alright still. One's a little bit longer. Well, no, it's only a couple of mil longer. So what I'm going to do now is take a rasp to them, tidy them up, and then check again. And if I got a rasp a little bit at the end off, because these got to be exactly right, they got to be exactly in line. So when you're pinching something, both points of contact are on the piece of metal that you're pinching. Because if one's touching and one's not, you're going to get a twist. So what I'm going to do now, rasp it off and match them up again. So I'm going to hold it in the boss, give it a good rasping. The outside doesn't need to be really smooth, but it just adds to character, and got nice tools. Customers see that, and you think you can do nice work. Right guys, so this is what we've ended up with after filing them off. We've got two nice shapes. Everything's equal in size except for this one here is a little bit thicker, but it's about 1mm, or I think it's about a 1/16 wider than this one. So I'm not going to worry about that too much, to be honest, because the width is sound, everything else is sound. This one's a bit thicker, but it shouldn't really matter too much. I can always file it down if I need to. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is going to take a nice heat, and then I'm going to come on the anvil and punch through with a round punch through this way. You can see, if I went through that way, I can't get over the pritchel hole, because I'd punch through that, and then this would be set up like that, so it would bend, so I wouldn't be able to get a hole all the way through. So I'm going to punch through, punch through that way, and then finish off the hole that way. So I'll take a heat now, get them both punched. So you want to come over to your far side of the anvil on your 45 degrees, find your middle with your round punch, make a slight mark. You don't want to punch all the way through straight away. And then you get it centered. And there's an easier way to check if it's centered. So that's central enough for me. So what I'm going to do is take another heat and then go all the way through, bring it over to the pritchel hole, and then carry on with the punch and hopefully get a little nugget out. So now we know we're central, and we know we're in the right place. Carry on with the punch. And quench it, go back in until you hear it. Until you hear it hit the anvil. Turn them over. You got that little dark spot now. You punch in the middle of the dark spot. Go through. Oh, there you go. Plugs out. You got a nice clean hole. There's your plug. Let me just tidy up now. I'm going to take another heat, a low heat, and just drift that hole slightly so that my rivet, when I just made up, fit into the hole. As you can see, it's a lot lower heat. It's a slight orange. I'm going to check. Rivet goes in. No, still needs a bit more. So why that heat's still there. So I can't get it in, that's why we've done it the other way. Come here again. Check again. Now my rivet fits. That's all I need. Come and tidy this up again. Don't hit that too much, otherwise you're going to mess up your hole. Don't hit the sides either. can mess up your hole. You can check to see if the rivet fits again. Fits nicely, so we'll carry on with the other one. Right, a trick to finding the other side is because we got to punch through this way first. Can't do it as I would usually do it. I would usually do it like that. Bit of soft chalk. And I'd wet that. Bit of soft chalk in there where you want it. Sponge it up in there. Lift it off. And you roughly know where your centre is. Because we can't do that because we've got to punch through this way, I'm going to wet this side. Don't need loads of water on it. Now I'm going to come here. I'm going to line up my ends. And make sure everything lines up nice. And put the rings in line with each other. Make sure both sides are equal. Squeeze them together. Hold them tight. Get me chalk. And do the same. So what you'll end up with a very faint mark. So then you can get your centre punch. Come in over the edge of the anvil and get your centre slightly. Measure it again, make sure it's in the right place. Right, it needs to come up slightly. That's why you do a soft tap so you can redo it. So it needs to come over slightly. So now we're lined up. So now I'm going to aim for this punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a bit more easy to see by hitting it harder. So I'm going to always check. Just keep checking. It'd be helpful if you could see through the hole. So I'm going to go with that. So I punch that. So now we have both sets of tongs. They're all finished pretty much. Up to now we've got a rivet. With a crudely made rivet that I made this morning. I'll show you in another video how I make rivets. It's actually quite simple. So yeah, I'm going to put the rivet in the forge now, get that hot. The tongs are cold. I've just cleaned them off, quenched them, and they should be safe now. So we'll get the rivet heated up and then we'll rivet the tongs hot. The rivet will be hot, but the tongs will be hot. What I'm going to do, put the rivet in one. Instead of keep it falling out, I'm going to roll it. Put the other one on top. Quickly. It starts going one side, turn it. Go the other. Just get it flat. And pin it into shape. That's it. Oh, they're tough. Now they're stuck. So what I'm going to do is take a heat. What I usually do is just heat out this area. Then open them up. Close them open, close them. And then once they're open and closed, put them in the water. And really go for it then.
That'll loosen them
I'm taking
up.
it to a nice dull red heat around here. I'll just open them slightly, close them, open them, close them, open them, and they're free now. Take them as far as you can. Now I'll take them to the water now. Take them over there. Get them in my clutch bucket. Really go for it. Still needs a bit of tweaking, so they're going to get hot. Tighten up again, but that's what we need for the minute. Now what we're going to do is line these jewels up. So what we're going to do is just a little bit of fiddling about. Just to get these lined up. I'm not hitting hard. I want to come together so they're flat on the inside. Keeping the boss off of the anvil. So that's good enough for now. We line up in the centre. Now we're going to try and get these rings to kick off into the centre. I've never done this before, so I'm going to attempt it. Not quite sure how I'm going to attempt it. I'll probably come on here with a 6mm packer, bang this down so it kicks at the dog leg. That's what I need. Or I could put it in the vise, bend it one way and bend it the other way. Let's have a go. So what I'm going to do, put these in at an angle so they're slightly open, so you can't touch that. Can't touch. Put that in. I'm going to use this 12mm bar. No, you're not. Gradually bring it in. Got there in the end, very crudely, but that's what we want, is it slightly open. So now what I'm going to do is work back from this edge and and straighten these, because they're crossed and obviously you don't want them crossed. But this was so I can get that spring clip in, but looking at it now I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Might not be a spring clipped. That might be for another day. So now we got the bars, the rings straightened up. Now we need to go and squish these again, put these back together. So gently tap from either side. Keep fingers out of your rings, because it hurts. Both sides, make sure they're all in line. So it's pretty much there. I want them to hold like 2mm sheet or something. So tighter I can do the ends, better. You might need to take a couple of heats because you don't want to force it. If you lose your line, just straighten them out. Roll them out like you did before. Not the easiest tongs to make. So they're all in line now, everything's lined up. Just checking, see where the reins hit, which I think I might have to take the reins out a bit more. So the next heat now I'm going to heat them up. As you can see, they're not touching, they're not in line. Well, they're in line down here, but they cross, so I want to uncross them. So what I'm going to do is cool this down, heat the rings up, and then have a go. So what I'm going to do now, I'm squeezing the tongs, and I'm holding this boss so it's horizontal. Tap that one down, tap that one down, so that they stay in line. That's the plan anyway. Right, that one lines up, that one lines up, that took it out. Sit on top of each other now. So what we're going to do is quench them and get them cold and then test, see if it worked. So it did work. Rings are lining up. We're sat on top of each other, not next to each other now. A little bit wonky, but what can you do? Just tightens them up a bit. Right. So now they're not crossing over. Everything's lined up. Nice in the hands. Right, so I need that sit flat there, which is not. So I'm going to take another heat round here, flatten that out. So I've quenched the rings, not very well, they're bloody hot. I'm just going to try and get this to sit flat without twisting like it is. Oh, this ain't working. Sitting there. Right, they're still on top. Just get you flat. Flatten that. Right. Now they're sat a little bit better. Rough as hell, but they work even without doing all this. Before I give it a go. Yeah, it's twisted like mad. The rings are on top. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So the next thing is give it a good wire brush. Nice tidy up. Right, give it right wire brush. to bend it. Get that back in there. Right, so it's bent. Take the rings, straighten the rings. Quench the reins. Readjust them as I need them. Tighten up that rivet. Loosen that rivet. So now we got them all finished. They could just be as is and use them as they are now, but I want to try some up today. So what I got is an old hacksaw blade, and I've just grind the teeth off, just taking that off. And what I'm going to do is basically put it in there into a U shape so it fits the same curve as that, and then going to harden and temper it so it's back to its springiness when I get the right shape. So I'm going to put this into the fire. I'm going to get it to the right shape, take it out, have it wider than I need, harden and temper it, and then see about fixing it to the tongs. This should be fun. I'm going to use these tongs that we just made. Oh my god, that's soft. Okay. A lot softer than I thought it'd be. So we get them to a nice U shape, something like that. That'll do. Might make this a bit wider. Still got springiness, which I'm quite shocked at. So right, let's test them up with the tongs. We'll rest that on there, we should be able to. See where we're going? So I reckon a little bit wider. Limp's sound. Limp's right. So we'll widen them up. Right. So we go with that, I reckon. So what I'm going to do is chop it off and harden and temper it. So I sorted the clip out, hardened it in oil, and then put a blue temper on it. So that should give it a springiness. It's nice, works alright. So what we're going to be doing is putting it in the tongs like this. So when you squeeze them, it opens and closes again. So what I'm going to do before I carry on is sort these prongs out, because obviously if I squeeze too much on that, it's at the perfect angle there. So now I need to just push these in so that it doesn't lose its springiness like it just did. Yeah, so I might just have to open it to put it back in, or I could just leave it like that. Well guys, that just failed, so what I'm going to do is not even bother, because look, it's just pointless it being there. It's got a split, so if I pull it open again, so that's a fail. So what I need to do is get some decent springs still, try something else. So guys, hopefully you made it to the end of the video, and if you liked it, please do give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down, of course, I don't mind. Comments, if you've got any comments, questions or anything else related, then just leave us a comment down below, or my email's in the description. And if you're not a subscriber and you're new to this channel, then go check out my other videos. I've got a few others on there, and I'm starting to get regular now, so a lot more will be coming on. Subscribe, obviously. Share the video if you think someone else could benefit from these, or someone who enjoys watching longer videos. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us guys, if you have. If you subscribe, thank you very much. I'm going to be doing a small announcement video soon, so hopefully you can join us for that, and if you subscribe, you'll stay in contact then, and you'll get all the updates as you go. So thanks a lot guys, and hopefully you make some. If you do make any, please go to the Facebook page, just type in Working with Iron without any spaces in it, the name of the YouTube channel, and you'll come to my Facebook page, where you can, whatever you make from my videos, please do post up a picture, or if you've got any questions, send us a message on there, and I'll get back to you. I love to see what you guys make, seriously do love to see what you guys make. And sorry about the spring that was in there, supposed to be in there. I will do a follow-up video when I crack it, when I get a decent bit of spring steel and I can put it in there, then I'll show you a video on that. But anyway, thanks for coming guys, and thanks a lot for watching if you got to the end, and hopefully see you in the next one. Cheers guys, keep them fires burning.